Five, four, three, two. Boom. We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. We have another wonderful episode as we dive down the rabbit hole of what the future might look like. We have Ben Pember, co-founder of Defy Disrupt. We're super excited to have you on the show today. You've got a great background in this sector. So why don't we jump in? You want to introduce yourself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, thanks, man. Pleasure to be here today. So I'm Ben. I'm one of the co-founders of Defy. What we're building at Defy Labs is a company that is basically building a metaverse that bridges the virtual and the physical worlds. So the first project that we're working on is a game called Defy, and it's a mobile move-to-earn game. But what sets us apart from other move-to-earn projects is it's wrapped up in a very sort of rich game narrative. And it also features learn-to-earn elements and these hyper-casual code-breaking elements as well. So what we want to create is a game that gets people outside, gets people active and moving, but it's also an app and a game that people can earn with and can engage with, at home, on the bus, at school, on an ongoing basis as well. So we've got a fairly sort of unique take on it. The game story and lore is really fun, I think. Players are basically operatives joining a revolution to take down this evil tech oligarchy called Future Systems. And so, in the gameplay, you're going out into the real world, you're hacking Future Systems, and you're actually going and stealing their coin called F coin. And through that process, you're using virtual private mask, NFTs, to conceal your identity, but you're also engaging in drone battles, you're collecting weapons and items through the game, and then trading them with the community as well. So we launched the alpha like 15 days ago. The response has been incredible, and looking forward to telling you a little bit more about it. But that's a bit of an overview.
Awesome. Well, overthrowing the oligarchs is a time-long loved affair there. So you and your team have a great background in this. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the background and how we got here?
Yeah, definitely, man. So there's three co-founders. There's myself, Michael, and Tom. And myself and Tom have been mates for like 20 years. We used to share a house when we were at university together. And then sort of went our separate ways. Tom went into the world of hedge funds, finance, PE, that sort of stuff. And I went into the world of sponsorship and marketing. And I worked many years with an American agency called IMG, really learned the ropes in brand partnerships and that sort of stuff. And about 5 years ago, Michael and I, who's our CTO, basically came together and we launched a business called District Technologies, which was kind of like move to earn in the Web2 space. And what we were creating there were mobile apps, location-based games that were all about motivating people to be active. And so the motivation was really through gamification. And so we built that business into something really special. We exited it last year. We built our own app called District Race, and we scaled that up to about 700,000 users globally, but also started to do a lot of work for big global brands. So we're creating fitness apps for Adidas, for Red Bull, for AIA, big financial institutions. And that was a great sort of apprenticeship in the sort of tech world, 5 years of just shipping good product and satisfying clients and users. But we'd all three of us had always had a sort of a degenerate side where we'd been dabbling in crypto since 2017, and we'd been sharing a lot about trading, obviously with Tom, but also the tech side and NFTs with myself and Michael. And we basically saw an opportunity to take our experience and our learnings from the Web2 world and bring it into Web3. And so that's really how we got started. We were super lucky that, we made the acquaintance of the guys at Animoca Brands, and they were sort of our spirit guide, as it were, to sort of enter into the world of Web3 and crypto gaming. And the rest is history. So kind of an unconventional path into the industry, but I think one that sort of sets us apart.
Yeah, I really like this part. And maybe while we're here too, we'll stay somewhat in the past just for some context. this idea of the move to earn space or this kind of digital tracking, like, I am totally unfamiliar with it. Do you want to build
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more context about this particular side of the sector?
Yeah, I think one of the things that, technologists have seen for many years now is that technology can be used to, help people create habits, to motivate people to take healthy actions in their lives. We see that with things like Headspace, with Calm, obviously in the fitness space, Strava, and there's a lot of other apps sort of operating in the world of, whether it's calisthenics or body weight exercises, things like that. And so people have really been searching for ways that we can hack the human brain to basically have a healthier human body. And so what we were doing originally was really sort of tapping into, gamification. And so we didn't have the financial incentives of crypto tokens and NFTs. But what we were trying to do is trying to make fitness and being active so fun and so rewarding that people would want to go and do it on a regular basis. And so that was, that's quite difficult to do, because people by their very nature are pretty stubborn, and to get people to be engaged in that sort of activity for a very long time is quite difficult. There's some companies that have done it incredibly well, like Strava, obviously is the market leader in terms of, fitness tracking app. What they do beautifully well is they've basically turned it into a social media platform. And so it's the social media platform for people who like being active and fit. And it's actually not so much about the tracking. It's actually about getting the kudos and getting the sort of the pat on the back from the rest of the community who are telling you that, you're great because you went and did a 5K run today. And so that's where the motivation comes from in an app like that. And so it was kind of obvious to us, like as we started to see like play-to-earn gaming, really start to blossom, and we started to see obviously NFTs, really doing interesting, going beyond the initial sort of iterations and starting to be used in really interesting ways. That was kind of a bit of a light bulb moment for us. It was like, well, how about if we lay it on some sort of an ownership and a financial incentive onto this gamification? That's kind of like, that's the magic that's required to really make this thing stick. So yeah, it's been going on for a long time, but I think obviously the sort of act to earn revolution that's happening at the moment is going to be enormous.
Awesome. Thank you. So now as we kind of jump into today and the future, what's the roadmap look like? We saw you guys had dropped the mass that you're sharing. What is the future, the immediate future look like?
Yeah, man. So it's been a whirlwind for us. We started the company about 5 months ago. The immediate sort of objectives in front of us were to go and get partners on board who could help us sort of move into the space and grow, obviously to raise some funding and to start building out the game. Immediately when we had this idea, like one of the things that we wanted to do is to kind of set ourselves apart in the industry by shipping and delivering product really fast. We don't want to be obviously our game isn't a AAA style game. It doesn't take years to develop. And we've been doing this sort of stuff for years in the Web2 world. So like for us, moving really fast and getting a product into the wild was super important. So yeah, we went out, we raised our seed round, sort of led by Animoca and Spartan. Obviously have some fantastic partners on board there as well, Polygon Studios and more. Then we did our NFT mint. We just finished off our NFT mint on Saturday. It was absolutely crazy, like blew us away. We minted out in 13 minutes, which kind of created some problems for us because we were, it was a great problem to have. It just took us completely by surprise. And so that was a big success. And so the immediate roadmap now, we've got our alpha live. We're scaling up the user numbers. We had 1,000 users in our first 2 weeks. We just opened that up to another 10,000. So we've got another month or so of alpha. We'll scale up those numbers pretty significantly. And look to go live with our public beta of the game in late June, early July. The other big thing that's going to happen in that between now and public beta launch will be our token IEO and IDO, which is obviously huge for us and obviously quite a big focus at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of the two big things at the moment is public beta and token launch.
Let's for a minute dive into the in-game aspects. You're talking about the gamification of learn to earn. How does this look to the community member? I show up. How do I interact with this future systems?
Yeah, so there's kind of two core gameplay loops in Defy. The first one is the location-based move to earn element, and I guess the easiest way of describing this is it's kind of like Pokemon Go or Ingress, or similar to other sort of AR location-based games. But everyone knows Pokemon Go, and so that sees you basically going out into the real world. You use the in-app scanner, which is basically like an in-game consumable, and you use that to scan your immediate environment. And then you can see these future systems towers, which are spread around you. And those locations are generated by an algorithm that we've created in-house. And so basically it's live everywhere. Doesn't matter whether you're in, rural Central America or Philippines or Russia or, Japan, it's live everywhere. And so basically you've got these future systems towers, and you have to go out and hack these future systems towers. And you do that by basically completing a little code breaking game. Once you complete that code breaking game, you'll see these wallets, future system wallets, spread around the area around you in like a radius around you. You then have to go to those different locations to pick up those wallets, which then go into your inventory. So they go basically into your inventory. So I've gone out, I may have sort of walked around for 20 minutes, picked up 10 future systems wallets. The next thing that I have to do, and this is kind of the at home or play from anywhere element, is I need to decrypt those wallets. And so that decryption process is done through, again, like a code breaking game. It's kind of similar to, say, a Fruit Ninja or a Tetris style game. And this is kind of, analogous to a sort of like grinding play to earn element. And so this actually takes a bit of time to unlock and decrypt those wallets. One of the things which is coming up later in alpha is the ability for people to actually trade these wallets. So what we've seen is that a lot of people love the move to earn, and a lot of people love the decryption. And you can basically share tasks amongst the community. So that's, again, something pretty unique that I think is good for the economy. Where the learn to earn element comes in is with the drones. So basically, you're going out and you're stealing future systems coin. Future systems isn't going to just take that laying down. So they send out these drones to basically come and take you down. And so if you're familiar, if you ever played like Grand Theft Auto when you're a kid, you'll be familiar with like the heat system. So the more you go out and steal, the more your heat raises, and these drones will come and basically try and stop you from doing this. You can take them down with EMPs and other weapons, collect drone parts, and basically craft your own drone. So once you craft your own drone, you have to basically instruct it to act on your behalf. So it becomes like a pet, or it becomes like think of like an R2-D2 kind of character, like it can go and do stuff for you. So you can actually program it to move around your area and go and collect wallets for you. And that will be done basically through a basic sort of coding system, which will be linked with like a series of tutorials and materials that are basically teaching people the basics of coding, writing command lines, understanding certain languages and things like that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool element. It's something that is like work in progress, the learn to earn piece, but yeah, I mean, hopefully it's something that people get a real buzz out of.
Yeah, there's definitely a need for more programmers and developers. We talk to a lot of people in the space, and they're in a constant demand right now. People that can build. one of the questions I had here, how do you see the kind of the intersection between the different participants? Let's say someone who's just interested in playing the game for an active place, and then someone who's interested more from I guess a mechanical standpoint, like decrypting the wallets or trying to build these drones. How do these two different layers of the game interface?
Yeah, I think there's going to be different cohorts of players. You'll have people who enjoy both elements of the game. And I think that'll probably be the largest cohort. You'll then have people who just enjoy the move to earn piece and will basically like they'll be happy to go out, collect wallets, and then put it on the marketplace. And so the way that that marketplace works is, say, if you go and collect 10 wallets, but you don't have time to decrypt it, you can put it on like a job board, and then offer me 10% or 20% of the contents of those wallets to decrypt them on your behalf. And then, yeah, you will just have people who have, time on their hands and are happy to basically play to earn via doing this decryption. And so, and I think sort of those cohorts will shift. So, sometimes I might focus more on the move to earn element. Other times I might not be able to. I'm stuck in the office all day, so I can sit there and actually decrypt those wallets at that time. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops. At the moment, I would say our player base is definitely more of the move to earn. But I think as we start to add in the marketplace, we'll attract more of those traditional gamers as well.
Awesome. Now let's kind of jump out into the far stemming future. How do we think this is going to look in the next 3 to 5 years? Where are we hitting in 3 to 5 years from now?
Yeah, man. There's so many things to talk about, and I know I can be long-winded, so I'm going to have to try and control myself here because I love looking out into the future. But look, I think there's a couple of things which are going to be really interesting to see how they develop. I mean, one is AR, right? So AR is, it's definitely, in my opinion, delivered more than VR in terms of practical use cases so far, but it's still, it's still a promising technology in my opinion. And the reason why that is the form factor of a mobile device or a mobile phone being how we interact with AR isn't very good. Let's just be honest, it's okay and it can be interesting, but it's not that practical. So I think one of the things that can change our game in terms of how and really sort of take it to a new level will be the adoption of like AR lenses. So yeah, we've been playing around with prototypes of Snap's spectacles, which are just ridiculous. And obviously Apple's building hardware in that space now. Google will be back with sort of Google Glass V2. So imagine, what the world looks like when you have an AR lens on and you can actually start to see and interact with NFTs or digital assets like in the physical world. And then how does that interact with a game like ours where, all of a sudden, the gameplay goes from looking at your mobile device to something which, is kind of in the head-up display in style environment. So that's sort of like the big picture vision for us is how AR will transform this environment. But the second thing, which is, I guess, kind of more practical, but in a sense, like more exciting from an economic standpoint, is the view that we're taking is that Defy as a game is really a platform. So, how do we create an awesome play to earn or move to earn economy? Well, number one, you need a game which is fun enough to play even without earning. Right. I think that's kind of a fundamental that everyone is figuring out now. But secondly, you need to have various inputs and outputs of value. And so for us, it's not just about minting a new set of NFTs, selling them, getting more players in, and using that as a way to pay out the existing players. We actually want to create a platform that harnesses the creativity of our fans and of our users as well. So, for example, there will be the ability for users to basically forge in-game weapons and in-game NFTs and sell them on a marketplace. There will be the ability for, for example, you could create a Arcane Bear faction or team within the Defy game, and you make a proposal to the DAO, with the artwork and say, I want to mint 200 of these masks for my community. And you can do that on our platform. We take a small commission, the rest of the revenue go to you. And that's kind of the vision for us from an economic standpoint is, yeah, we build a platform, we build a world, and then we allow people to kind of run wild with it. And it's not about us trying to capture every piece of value that comes into the economy. It's actually, how do you spread that value far and wide? Because that's going to make it sustainable. So they're the two big things for me.
Awesome. Yeah. One of the things we think that's so interesting about this space is the way the participation rewards are spread out. You know, a lot of United States residents are basically totally priced out of participating in a lot of early stage anything effectively. Whereas what's so unique about this sector, you know, there's built-in participation rewards into the way the ecosystem functions. It's a net beneficiary to the community. And if you have a loud, vocally excited community about what you're doing, that's just a net positive feedback loop. You know, we're really excited about the depth of potential because of the flag bearers that you get from people who have been ultimately rewarded for participating for a long period of time within the brand and the IP growth effectively.
Yeah, man, like that's it. Like the power of this space is that, you know, if you get it right, the flywheel of user growth and adoption is enormous, because you just get your community essentially doing your marketing for you. And that was kind of something that we tried out a little bit with our recent NFT mint as well. And so we broke it down to two phases, and people who bought or minted an NFT in phase one, there's about 1,000 of those people basically got invites for phase two. And so each invite basically allowed people to mint one mask, and there was a 10% commission that went back to the original owner of the phase one NFT. And so what we saw that did is, all of a sudden you had people going out and getting their friends on board, you know, spreading it to their own little micro community, but really being kind of careful with how they invited and distributed those invites, because they wanted to get that reward for themselves. And so they were really sort of encouraging it, like, hey guys, make sure you mint on Saturday. And it sort of turned everyone from that phase one into a mini KOL. And so, yeah, that's something that we're going to continue to do, because it's pretty powerful.
Yes, it's a net benefit when you have the network effect and the people who are participating actually rewarded for that. That's one of our favorite parts. So, you know, because you have past experience here with some of the Web 2 layer of this moving type of stuff. Yeah, because again, this is kind of out of my genre specifically. I love tech, and I love the evolving conversation around this. So, what about partnerships on the Web 2 layer, or even the physical layer? Tell us how those conversations are going, or might be going, effectively, whatever you're allowed to share.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, there's so much that we can do here. You know, everything from as simple as sort of physical meetups and physical events in the real world, you know, for players to go out and sort of do these sort of flash mob style events where, you know, like we could have double wallets or double F coins in certain cities on certain days, and, you know, look to bring the community together. We're looking into that. But then, yeah, I guess like our hypothesis, like for building the company in the first place, is really like the brands are coming, you know, they're going to rush into the metaverse space really soon. And yeah, we think that this sort of physical virtual overlay is something which is quite easy for traditional brands to get their heads around. And so, yeah, there's ongoing discussions at the moment with a couple of global brands. Can't say too much at the moment, bit of a watch this space type situation. They will be actively looking at how we can integrate them into the game, into the ecosystem, but doing it in a way which actually benefits the players, benefits the ecosystem as well. Again, like that's another potential input of value into the ecosystem that we think is quite important, you know, like actually having a revenue stream from brands or you know, companies who want to tap into our user base. So yeah, lots of discussions going on at the moment, and likely to be some announcements later on this year.
I left on mute there for a second. Let's dive back to the mint here just really quickly. it was you're running on Polygon, correct?
Correct.
You
Yeah.
gonna tell us how the mint went for running on Polygon? I mean, I'm sure you've played
Yeah.
around a little bit in other spaces.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, look, to be honest, phase one, there were quite a few learnings we had, and yeah, we had a couple of little bumps in the road on in phase one. But for phase two, where we kind of did, seven times, eight times the number of NFTs minted, it worked actually flawlessly. So yeah, we're going to work with the team there, and hopefully provide some suggestions and best practices, for future projects. But the beautiful thing was, like, and this is the whole reason why we went with Polygon in the first place, is you could jack the gas up massively and you're still paying like 20%, 20 cents gas to mint an NFT. And I mean, I'm sure you've been there, but the amount of times, like, and obviously we had a good example of it recently as well, like just paying ridiculous gas on layer one on ETH. We just fundamentally, philosophically, we couldn't be having that. Like, how can we have a game which is all about trading NFT, in-game items, and having marketplaces and those sorts of things, if we couldn't make transacting, easy and cheap? So yeah, I think there's definitely some learnings and there's some ways to make it go smooth. But for us, yeah, super, super smooth. And yeah, like, I think it's just user education as well, man. Like, I mean, once you get people, yeah, there's a couple of little bumps, to have to bridge over to Polygon and that sort of stuff. But once you can do that, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is one of the kind of first integrations that came to mind when we were first chatting. You see, there's on, like, if you go to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, there's little videos that will take you to, like, hey, learn about Ripple or
Yeah,
Near or Bitcoin effectively, and we'll pay you out in little Bitcoin. This type of project where you'd go out, you could find little ways to learn about different cryptocurrencies seems like a great advantage for that type of learn to earn potential as well. Those would be my first thoughts of, like, good brand partnerships, like partner with a bunch of the crypto companies and get
yeah,
people in and participating, because yeah, as you said, a huge majority of this is actually education, and both in tech and kind of finance, trying to explain a very
yeah,
broad with two things which I wouldn't have not thought connect so well would be games and finance, but here you have it.
yeah.
So leave us out here with where we can find you, what to keep in mind for, like, the, like, yeah, I guess participating, like the next key dates, and then
Yeah.
just for fun, vocalize it's all the links are written down below, but just because some people like to listen only.
Yeah, for sure, man. So you can find us on Twitter at Defy Disrupt. You can find us at Discord. There's a link on Twitter there. I recommend to just follow that. Yeah, if you participate in the NFT mint, make sure you go and verify on Discord. There's some sort of alpha chats there, spaces where you can share feedback about the app. You can talk directly to the developers, hear more about the future. If you haven't participated in the mint, you can go and pick up a mask off OpenSea, and you can join in the game. So the next big things to watch out for, mate, is, yeah, we're going to be doing some additional NFT mints so that we can obviously bring more players into the space. We're going to kind of jack those numbers up, and yeah, we're going to launch the token in the next few weeks. So yeah, at Twitter, Defy Disrupt is the best place to find us. All the links are there. And yeah, thank you so much for having us on the podcast today, man.
Perfect, Ben. Yeah, I like it. I'm really excited to see where this goes. When we first saw the kind of learn to earn, move to earn, especially with the relationship with, again, the necessity for education in this topic. I think there's a nice way to see things come together. Bear family, thank you for listening and enjoying the show this evening. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. Leave your thoughts, your questions, comments down below. Follow at Defy Disrupt. Just maybe out of course of habit, I say DeFi now. I'm not sure. It's
Feel
like the
good, man.
muscle memory thing. My dad still calls me the dog's name every now and then. There's like some, some
That's
things
it.
get built in there, muscle memory. Um, and Ben, it was a treat to chat. I know we're going to jump in Mint to Mask here. I was traveling pretty much the last little bit while we were chatting, so it's good to be back home. And I look forward to when we get to catch up next time. We'll do
Yeah, man.
maybe some more beta and alpha game testing here. We've got another channel we're going to do more game stuff on.
Yeah, sweet, man. And yeah, once again, I just thanks to you and your team for all the support. Since we started talking a couple of months ago, it's been awesome to work with you, man, and great to talk to your community today.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're such big fans of the way the space evolves, and it's always surprised me. Like whatever I thought it was going to do, it's always outperformed that, and usually in a number of ways. So we just try to keep as an open mind and be as optimistic about what's possible there, at least in this unique area where we're so interested. I'm a little pessimistic about other things in the world, but we keep that off the podcast.
Yeah, man. Cool. You have a good one.
Awesome, Ben. We'll keep you on for just a minute after here I end the stream. Arcane Bear family, thank you all. We'll see you guys again on the next episode. Boom.